Okay guys, are you tired of the Curado DC casting videos yet? Well, too bad, because here's yet another one. And I think this one is actually more important because, in my eyes, the Curado DC has to at least be able to beat its much cheaper older brother, the Curado K. And in this particular test, I was going to cast the 1/4 ounce casting plug as well as a 1/2 ounce casting plug, but unfortunately I couldn't find any 1/4 ounce casting plugs, and it was like 1,000 degrees outside, so I decided to just go in between and cast a 3/8 ounce casting plug. So it wasn't too light and it wasn't too heavy, and yeah. Now the last time I put up a DC reel up against its non-DC counterpart was, of course, the Metanium battle, where the Metanium DC battled the mighty MGL, and it lost. It lost both the 1/4 ounce and the 1/2 ounce casting plug distance test. So, I already shot the footage, and I'm going to share that with you guys right now. Okay guys, I have the Shimano 200K. I have the internal brakes set to just one on, this one right here. I have the external dial set to 1, so we're running pretty much minimum braking, and we are throwing the 3/8 ounce plug. So here we go. "191 feet even." "182.3. Whoa, 200 feet 7 inches. Whew. 203 feet 4 inches. "189 feet 6 inches. Okay guys, so up next we have the Curado DC. Now I'm actually using the number 2 dial setting, which is braid and mono, and I'm actually running the spool tension set to just minimize the side-to-side play. And of course, we're doing a 3/8 ounce casting plug. So let's go. Wow, 200 feet even. "199 feet 9 inches. "202 feet 9 inches. 199 feet 6 inches. $198 feet 9 inches. Okay guys, so based on the numbers that both reels put up, who do you think won that battle? Now both reels, I believe, hit a couple of casts apiece of over 200 feet, but in the end, the consistency of the Curado DC beats out the Curado K, and the Curado DC averaged 200.2 feet, while the Curado K did a very respectable 193.4 feet. So you're looking at a 7-foot victory for the DC. So I guess that means you are paying $10 per foot for performance. Now, to be honest, I thought that the Curado K was going to win that. Not by a lot, but I thought it was going to squeak out a victory for a few reasons. The first reason is that the plug was not very heavy. It's only 3/8 of an ounce. And the fact that the previous DC versus its non-DC counterpart battle, the non-DC reel, the Metanium MGL, comfortably beat out the Metanium DC with both plugs, light and heavy. And that was because of the third reason why I thought the K was going to win. If you recall, in the unboxing video, I weighed both spools of the K and the DC, and the K had a much lighter spool at only 16 grams, while the DC had a spool that weighed almost 21 grams at 20.7 grams. But I do have a theory on why the DC won, and I'm going to explain that to you. But first, I need to pull this scale out. Okay guys, so I got the spools popped out, and the main reason I think that the Curado DC won was because of this, the DC brakes. Now you're probably thinking, well, you know, they didn't help the Metanium DC beat the Metanium MGL, and you are correct in that respect. But there was a difference between the Metanium DC and the Metanium MGL, and that was spool weight filled with line. So, since the Curado K holds a lot more line than the Curado DC, remember this is a 200 line capacity in Shimano speak, while the DC is a 150, you can see that the weight difference, here's the Curado K, is 27.8, while the Curado DC, when filled with line, is 29.5. So the weight difference between the two shrunk from, you know, almost 5 grams to probably 1.5 gram difference between the two. So since they weighed so close to each other when filled with line, that allowed the DC brakes to work their magic and give those consistently longer casts time after time, cast after cast. So that is why I believe the Curado DC won. Now, when it came to the Metanium MGL versus the Metanium DC, the MGL actually held less line than the MGL. So the spool weights between those two when filled with line jumped up to 5.5 grams. And that was just too much for the Metanium DC to be able to cope with, at least when casting plugs. So there we go, guys. The Curado DC earns its $70 price tag over the Curado K in this particular battle. And don't forget, even though they were done on the same, actually they were done on different days, the Curado DC beat out the Curado K, throwing the lipless crankbait as well, by almost 10 foot. So there we go, guys. Curado DC beats Curado K. Thanks a lot.